Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back. So here we are, 5 days in a row of uploading. Today I want to talk about morning anxiety and why it was one of the worst parts of the day, if not the worst. Very, very comparable with night anxiety as far as the extreme levels of anxiety and the symptoms that it would bring. Morning and night. And a lot of times morning and night anxiety kind of coexisted. You know, my night would go right into the morning because I didn't get any sleep. So it's almost like they were just one thing. But mornings were hellacious for me. And I'm telling you guys, if you can somehow figure out how to crack through that or break through that and gain some momentum, the morning is the most important part of the day in general, but especially if you have anxiety, how our morning goes is going to dictate how the rest of the day goes. So if it's consisting of you not doing very many things for your mental health because you're having symptoms and you're not motivated enough, or you're too scared to get out of bed, or if it's just you sitting in bed or whatever, it's not going to go good the rest of the day, and getting out of that funk is one of the hardest things I had to do. But it's a momentum game. It does get easier over time. It definitely starts to get easier when you get more sleep. But I want to talk about my experience with that, some of the symptoms that I dealt with, and the 3 phases that I went through. I had 3 different types of morning anxiety that all presented their own little unique challenges. And then also give you a couple of things that can help, get the momentum going in your favor in the morning to help out with this and to get you into a better place. So your day is a little bit better. And then the idea is that'll help you get better sleep. You start getting better sleep, guess what? Your morning is going to be a little bit better in combination with a handful of things that you're doing for yourself or a morning routine. And then we build on this. Anxiety recovery is momentum, and it takes time to gain momentum. But once things really get going, things can speed up. Your recovery process can speed up. We don't want to put time limits on it, right? Or any type of boundary, or it has to be by the summer or whatever. We don't want to do that. But things ideally will speed up whenever you get momentum on your side, okay? But the hardest part is that initial push, and that's the challenge that I present to you guys today. So for me, I went through 3 different stages of morning anxiety. So in the beginning, when anxiety is fresh and new, and a lot of you know what I'm about to say, that's whenever you're not really getting much sleep. And for me, that made my mornings awful, especially if I didn't sleep at all. And now it's 6 a.m. and I have to go to work in a few hours and I have to get ready for work. If I wasn't going to call in, it was hard for me to hold down a job during this period of time. But the first phase is me not getting much sleep at all, or maybe an hour or 2 here and there. And then I would do this for a couple of days, maybe 3 days, and then the 3rd or 4th day, I would sleep for like 17 hours, probably call in, and basically crash, because at some point we're going to have to get our sleep. And I didn't have sleeping medications or anything like that. The things that I would use are not healthy. I would drink a lot to catch up on sleep, or I'd take 2 or 3 Benadryl to catch up on sleep. And you guys know, if you drink alcohol, or drink a lot of alcohol anyways, you're going to get the anxiety the next morning, and it's going to make your morning anxiety even much worse. So phase 1 is just me not getting any sleep, and I'm either still awake, or we get that deal where we fall asleep like an hour before our alarm clock goes off, and it feels like we weren't asleep at all. And instantly, I would have horrible anxiety in the morning. And my morning anxiety consisted of just panic. I would have panic attacks in the morning, 1 to 3 of them, varying in length. I would have chest pains. I always feared that I was having a heart attack during this phase. That was my biggest worry. And then everything in my stomach would turn to freaking liquid. So I would have to go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times before leaving the house or doing whatever I needed to do that day. I would have diarrhea, feel sick to my stomach, and having chest pains. And I'm telling you guys, I think I've mentioned it before, but there's nothing worse, man, than, sitting on the toilet thinking that you're dying of a heart attack and you're having diarrhea, and you're trying to get through it and hurry up and wipe and everything, get your pants up before you pass out and die on the floor, basically like Elvis. That was a huge fear of mine. So I would try to speed through it. I would try to speed through my shower because I didn't want to die naked or, in the middle of a poop or something for somebody else to find me. So there was that element. I would have horrible back pain in the morning. It felt like I was sleeping on bricks all night. that would take probably about 3 or 4 hours to work itself out. I'd have to do stretches and stretching and things like that. I would have horrible trapped gas. That took me 3 to 4 hours for that to work its way out. I get it, TMI, but I'm just saying, either would come up this way or come out the other way. So I would just get a lot of trapped gas that I think would build up throughout the night. Some of my mornings, I would wake up, not just with a panic attack, but I would wake up with a lava coming out of my throat. That would be my rude awakening, which was my acid reflux. And guys, I'm telling you, if you've ever had that, you know how horrible that is, waking up to that, and it makes you feel like you got to puke. And there's a couple times I did have to run to the toilet and like gag and vomit a little bit to get the acid out of my damn mouth. But yeah, I had a horrible acid reflux, so sometimes that would wake me up. Early morning panic attacks, just waking up in full-blown panic. It could either be associated with a nightmare, or I just wake up and that's what's going on. And you know me, I'm worried about my heart. I'm thinking like, oh my God, is this it? Am I having a heart attack? So, you know, I would try to get myself together for an hour or so, you know, before I would head off to work. And work was spotty for me during this year and a half. I'd pick up a job, stay there for a month or two, get paid a couple times, quit because I couldn't handle the stress and the anxiety at the same time as working, or I'd just call in, you know, because my mornings were horrible. And then I would go to another one, and so this would last. So this period probably lasted like a year and a half, where I was like not getting a lot of sleep, and of course the morning was terrible. Then we enter phase 2. I actually am starting to get better sleep. Some of you are here. So I'm getting better sleep, which means my anxiety is not as horrible, but I'm in this phase where immediately whenever I wake up, the anxiety's there. You know, it's not like it takes time to come to me. Immediately whenever I wake up, my heart rate starts to jump up, even while I'm laying there. My stomach starts to churn and hurt. And the funny thing is none of this is happening at night. Like, I'm past like nocturnal panic attacks or like the anxiety apnea or the jolting awake. I'm past all that. So I'm actually getting some pretty sound sleep, like 6 to 8 hours, which is great if you have anxiety, by the way. Like, even getting like 5 or 6 hours is like heaven sent sometimes. So I'm getting better sleep and everything, but whenever I wake up, it's almost like my conscious and subconscious would just go into shock and like, oh my God. And, you know, I'm sure there's science to it and everything. I have read that cortisol will spike. I'm not trying to be your neuroscientist or your doctor here. You can kind of look some of this stuff up on your own, but I think we have a cortisol spike in the morning that can help with aiding your anxiety. But also I think it's just kind of like you're becoming conscious, and everything's like, oh my God, yeah, we have anxiety. Yeah, I deal with this chest pain. Where's it at? Oh my God, there it is. Oh my God, my heart's beating fast. Like, and in your subconscious, your body's like, is this it? Are we going into battle? Are we about to fight something? Are we in danger? You know, so it's trying to protect you. You know what I mean? Now that you're awake, it's trying to keep you, you know, on alert for danger and to prepare yourself for battle, even though it's not needed. That's the thing. So what do? We start pointing our fingers at medical conditions and stuff like that, heart conditions, cancer, stuff like that, because we don't see a tiger there. We don't see any danger. So why is my body reacting like this? So that would be my second phase. I was getting great sleep, which is good. Okay, I'm not saying every night was perfect, but right whenever I would wake up, anxiety would just slap me in the face. And then I'd go through all those things that I was talking about. Like, my back would hurt for a while. I'd have trapped air, trapped gas. I'd probably have diarrhea, you know, most days of the week. Acid reflux, I think, was starting to die down a little bit at this period, thanks to apple cider vinegar mixed with water, by the way. Don't just drink that crap straight, but a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a couple teaspoons, mix in a full glass of water, squeeze a lemon for, you know, to help with the taste, and lemon's just good for you. It has some good electrolytes in it. Mix that up, drink it with a straw, and then brush your teeth after. It pretty much wiped out most of my acid reflux issues. You can do your own research. Just a little bonus hack. So acid reflux wasn't horrible at that point, but still some aches and pains, tension, diarrhea, chest pain still at this point. I was still worried about my heart, fast heart rate, and I would have panic, intermittent panic. And of course, the mornings, not just me being in bed and going to the bathroom. I mean, morning goes on for a while. So my drive to work, which I haven't even mentioned, driving to work was a nightmare. I'm not going to make this whole video about it. I have videos on driving anxiety. But guys, that part's horrible. Even once I get dressed and I get done, you know, using the bathroom and, trying to at least get myself a little calm. Then my anxiety wants to be aggravated in the car. I was so worried about dying on the way to work. I was so afraid of, if I had a longer commute, is an ambulance going to get here in time? I was so worried about passing out while driving and hitting somebody else with my vehicle. And then I'm 21 years old, 22 at the time, and they're not going to think that I had a heart problem, right? Who would think a 22-year-old has a heart problem? They're going to think that I was just a reckless driver or that I was suicidal and try to just take this family out. So I had all these spiraling and catastrophizing thoughts that would go along with it. And then, once I get to work, I'm already wound up. Once I got to work, most of the time I could handle it decently and get through my shift. But then, I had to drive back home and my night anxiety. So if there was a better part of my day, it was in the middle of a work shift if I got there, because I was distracted and grounded more. So that's the second phase. The third phase that I had, and I'll try to make this brief. I know this video is going on too long. The third phase was, I would call this a sabotage phase. So I'm getting good sleep, and now I'm not getting anxiety immediately whenever I wake up. So you can see as time in a few years has gone by, things are getting better. Better sleep. Now I'm not having anxiety right when I wake up. I play the self-sabotage game, and I'll kind of tie this into some things that you need to do in the morning. I would just lay there, I'd wake up, and then I would have anticipatory anxiety about the day, like, oh man, another day with anxiety, like, how's today? Oh no, I gotta do this at work, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta drive 2 hours today. Oh man, where's my chest pain? Like I wouldn't even have chest pain, or I don't even think it was chest pain at this point. It'd be whatever symptom I was fixated on. I'd be like, where's it at? Like, oh, and then it would start in. I would look for it. It was just such a habit to look for it. I had to finally and this is what helped me, I had to stop laying in bed. I call this laying in your own filth, thinking about the day, getting on social media, Googling. I don't even want you watching me first thing in the morning. I don't want your morning to always be about. I want you to get up out of your bed within a few seconds, to stop thinking about your day, letting the anticipatory anxiety take over, and analyzing and scanning and looking for your symptoms. Get up, hydrate, and then after that, you need to do physical exercise. If you're worried about exercise, that's going to be your exposure. You need to at least start walking, getting a walk in, get some natural sunlight. It's good for you. And then gradually work your way up and start sweating this nervous energy out of you. You need to be doing this every day. After that, hit it with a cold shower. If you don't want to try it, you're missing out. Hit it with a cold shower, desensitize to these symptoms. And then after that, we're going to work on calming the body down. After we've gotten the nervous energy out, now we want to slow the heart rate down. We want to get the breathing in sync. And this is whenever you would do things like meditation, breathing techniques. Go over your positive affirmations, your gratitude affirmations. Break out that journal, okay? Guys, that's like 6 or 7 things that you can do in a total of an hour and a half. Make an hour and a half available to you before you shove off to school, shove off to work, run your errands, or just have your day off. If you establish this routine in the morning, I promise you guys, anxiety starts to get better. Now, I know that it's not all about morning routine, but if we can start our day off good, I'm telling you, you're going to build momentum throughout the day. Your exposure is going to go better later on in the afternoon. Work's going to go better. You're going to get better sleep, and then that's going to translate into a better morning, okay? Wake up within a few seconds, get up, hydrate immediately. This is whenever you're the most dehydrated during the day, is early in the morning. That's not going to help with anxiety or your mood. Do 15, 20 minutes of a workout. The idea is to sweat. Take a quick cold shower, get out, do some mindfulness, whether that be like meditation or doing some breathing exercises, affirmations, gratitude and positive affirmations, do a little journal entry, and then you're ready to go. If you want more in-depth help with your anxiety recovery process, check out my course, ELITE ANXIETY BOOTCAMP, down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. It's got you covered. Talked about routine. There's a very detailed 24-hour routine on there to help you get throughout your day. Close to 100 videos also that's going to take you step by step on what I did to get past health anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, and panic disorder. If I did it, you can too. Coaching info is down below as well. Take advantage of that. And my other resources are down there, guys. 5 days in a row of uploading. I love you guys. Subscribe if you're new. And hit the like button if you got value. Until next time, keep fighting.